Welcome back to the Comeback Era podcast.
Welcome back.
We have a fun little episode for you guys today.
Yes, so fun. I'm so excited.
Kayla.
My sarcasm.
You know what? I think sarcasm is a really good defense mechanism, especially after everything that you've gone through.
Yeah.
Because I think if you can't laugh through it, then you'll just cry.
Yes, 100%. I find humor in all of the treacherous shit.
Girl, you've been through some shit.
Been through some shit.
So I know everyone's dying to hear about your divorce.
Yeah, of course.
It just keeps popping up on my news feed. On the news. It's on the newspaper. No, but you've been through a really hard time and kind of you obviously had some beautiful parts of your marriage and you have beautiful children, and children, I believe, are never a mistake.
Yeah.
But you've been through some shit.
Yeah.
And I guess I know divorce isn't an easy thing to do, but what got you to that decision to say, you know what, it's time to divorce?
Right.
Like, what led up to that?
Right. Obviously it was definitely a few years of thinking. Obviously I've, marriage and the covenant of marriage is so sacred to me and so important to me. So I never wanted to just throw in the towel. I'm not someone who just gives up on anything. So I definitely surrendered to God about that decision. I prayed about it for years. And I just kept asking for signs. And I just feel like through that all, God just kept sending me sign after sign, like right in my face, and this is where I feel like I lost my intuition, because there were so many things that I felt in my intuition that I was ignoring. And, it was just like, when someone shows you who they are, believe them, and I didn't.
What do you feel like you were ignoring?
I think I was so exhausted so much. I had so much on my plate constantly, that I didn't look around to see all the red flags and all the signs and all the things that were happening. And continuous patterns that were being portrayed that I was just, I guess, maybe made excuses for, or didn't want to believe, or, I just had such a bad idea of divorce, and I don't want to be a failure. And I love marriage, and I'm a wife. I was a wonderful wife. I was a devoted wife. But I don't want another child. I didn't want another child. I wanted a husband, and I wanted a partner. And that's something that truly lacked. And I felt like there was a lack of disrespect.
I feel like you're doing a really beautiful job of dancing around the bush here. And I appreciate that for keeping, trying to respect your children's father. And
Right.
I think that that's really admirable of you to want to do.
Right.
And you know what? I think that there's certain elements where that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think
you want to know what happened?
No, I know what happened, but
Well,
I think for me as your friend, having watched you go through everything you've gone through and being at your house when a lot of stuff was going down recently, and watching the disrespect that he has for you now and the way that he undermines, I think what is
my role as a mother.
Your role as a mother. Yeah. And I think the elements of the way that new people have been introduced and the way he disrespects, you guys there's no co-parenting
right
in this. It's very much like, I'm not gonna back down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that it's so nice of you to really kind of dance around this, but I think you've been through some stuff, and I think
yes, I need
you
to
deserve to dive in a little deeper.
For sure. It's going to take time to open up. I mean, in the midst of not knowing, I want to say I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to say something I'm going to regret. We can erase
things. We can edit things out.
If there's totally. No, I'm saying that's truly the authentically how I feel. I don't want to say something I'm going to regret maybe 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But
I do that after every party I go to, and I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. And I get so in my head about every single thing that I do and say. So I totally understand.
Yeah, I don't want to live in that.
And this is a way deeper thing that you've gone through. But all right, so let me ask you this, and feel free to not answer this. How many car accidents were
Oh
there?
my God. Straight into it.
Just how many car accidents were there? How many cars were totaled?
He totaled 3 out of 4 cars. He crashed 4 of our cars, but totaled 3 out of 4.
So there was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just curious about the facts because I don't appreciate watching people put on their stories calling you a gold digger
Right, right.
when I know that I watched your kids, going through a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And as a good mom, you're trying to navigate that. And
Totally.
you booked them an appointment to go to the therapist's office.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to the therapist's office.
I didn't make it there. They actually called me before. They called me before and
You had
said,
the appointment all booked and ready to go.
yes, I was booking it to get them therapy. And obviously, like, I can't afford to get them therapy that's, $165 a session. So I was looking for one that was insurable to help with the cost of that. Because I'm covering so much of the cost of my kids on my own, as I have been paying all the bills since February. That's like, the place that my children live, their food, all the things. Their activities, their school. He now has started paying my car insurance because he
That's
did
nice.
cancel my car insurance.
Well,
My license was
thank you for that.
suspended, and I didn't know this
Why was your license suspended?
because he canceled my insurance, and I didn't know. I was in California for a month,
So
here.
he cancels your insurance, your
Canceled
car
my
insurance.
car insurance, yeah.
And what else did he cancel?
The health insurance. So that was another
But
thing.
who else did he cancel health insurance for?
Me and the kids.
Yeah.
He's still insured. I'm not insured.
So
and the kids are not insured. So yes, I had to cancel the therapy appointment, and
So and I apologize for coming out of the gate
No,
really
not at all.
guns hot because I love you and I watch you try and navigate the way that you say things to the kids, and it's really hard. And this is a really hard episode to dive into because as your friend, I want to come out guns blazing for you because I think
and I appreciate that.
I want your story to be told because I really resent that, people are, like you see the comments on the Us Weekly things like, oh, she's just a gold digger. And it's like, what
Okay, well,
gold?
pause. There's
What
no
gold?
Okay, yeah. Okay. There's no gold. The gold has probably been sold. I don't even know if it exists. I've had a job since I was 16 years old. I've had an income our entire marriage. I'm not like, there's nothing. He's purchased nice gifts for me. So it's like, maybe I need the true definition of a gold digger. Maybe he's unaware of that. But I would think if I had to decide or think of the definition of a gold digger, I would think of someone who is lazy, who doesn't work, who just loves materialistic things, who wants to be with an old fat gray man just because he makes a ton of money. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I was a devoted wife. I was a devoted mother. I never strayed in my relationship. I was extremely loyal.
Yeah.
I, held down the fort. I was the home therapist. I was the live-in PR agent. I was the manager. I was the chef. I was the caretaker. I was the everything I was doing. So it's also just undermines the role of a woman in her marriage and the mother that like thinking that she's supposed to do all this stuff on her own and then bring in a 50-50 income. Did I bring in as much as money as him? No, because I put all my goals on the back burner and said, I will devote my life to making you achieve your goals because your goals are so much greater than my goals. You have this ambition to achieve some of the things that are the greatest in the world. Why would I hinder that?
No, and what a beautiful sacrifice you make.
Yes.
And that's part of being in a
entirely.
marriage and loving somebody.
I still had an income. I paid for all of my own cosmetics, hair care, clothes.
Yeah,
it's not like I went on a credit card and charged things. Like I remember one time I literally was trying to start a blog and I said, I'm so sorry to ask you this, but do you mind lending me $200 to start my blog? And he was like, of course not. Of course. But that's how I was very cautious of not wanting him to ever think I was taking advantage. Yeah. But here I was begging for bare minimum, which is bullshit.
And that's kind of also, I feel like, part of it. Everyone thinks it's so fancy to oh my God, an Olympian, or because I've dated a professional athlete before and everyone thinks it's so great. And, I loved him a lot, but he was incredibly selfish.
Mm.
And we had
Yeah.
a fight once, and he was like, talking to me about, like my career and what I was like, I don't know what I wanted to do. It was like before real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it must be so nice to know what you've wanted to do your entire life.
Yeah.
And like, you like have,
And all you
since
have
you
to
were
do is that.
3 years
All you
old,
have to do is that.
and everybody wants to support you. And
Yeah.
it's like, so there's that mentality that they get where like, you're like, oh, hey, everyone's here to support you. And they just kind of assume that everyone is supposed to.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, like I have like needs and things as well. And I think like you weren't really asking for a lot. Like
Mm-mm.
you're like, I bring stuff to the table here as well.
Totally. I bring a ton of things to the table. Like, and I did. And like, that's the thing. Like, I don't have any regrets. I have no regrets. I was a great wife. I was a great mom. I did everything. Like, I was 3,000 miles away from my family, like taking care of kids on my own. And luckily I had, his stepmom and dad were 2 hours away, so they would help me quite often when I needed.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But that's family, like that's community, like that's
Yeah.
how it
and my girlfriends,
works.
like, but
Yeah.
like to think it's just to say someone's a gold digger is so utterly disrespectful.
And it's so narcissistic for someone to think that like that, because I know what it's in response to. It's like literally right after you made a reel, like there's a trend right now. It's like,
Because everything
what's
I
the
do is
audio?
watched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny for somebody who's blocked, but right.
Yeah, I know.
But it's so funny to have it be that the trend is like my daughter, like I'm gonna like me teaching my daughter that like we're not gonna get like worked up over somebody who's like not even paying bills. Like this isn't about you, but you just
And
you
I've
think
been in
it's
that.
about
I've been in that
you?
relationship. And I remember high school when my mom was telling me, like, this isn't like, he's an asshole or he's a cheater or whatever. And I was like, no, he's the love of my life.
What's the audio on the reel so like I can?
It's Christian Walker, and he's saying, fuck, what is he saying?
It's
He's like
crying
over boys who don't even pay bills.
Like
Ghetto.
like literally everyone and their mother is doing a video of like crying over boys who don't even pay our bills, and it's like that's just the trend.
Totally.
But he made it about himself, and then like literally posts like
you're only
a gold
guilty
digger.
if you make it about yourself.
Trigger is truth, my friend. Trigger is truth.
Come on. But it's just like, and that's the thing. People don't understand. Well, I guess people do understand, but some people don't understand that TikTok has hot little takes. They have hot trending audios, and you just take the trending audio and do voiceovers on it. Like that's what it is.
It's just it's a trend.
Yeah, it's not that deep.
Hi, maybe you've never heard of TikTok before, sir, but try it out.
Yeah. It's okay.
You're gonna pay you over there. So.
I know people want to talk about, I know like the question is, the big question is like, why? Why did I
That was
file
my
for
next
divorce?
question. So it's like, we've gotten a little backstory, like and there's a lot more backstory to have, but like what?
We could be here for years.
So I guess like, what are the 3 things that we were like, that really weighed in on you for like, this is why I feel like, what led to you being like, I have to get divorced?
Okay. So I'll tell you what happened. I'm debating if I should, I'm trying to think if I want to go like full, like share details or not.
Like, what do you mean? Like, so,
okay. Let's reverse. This is a pivotal moment where I knew that this is someone that I can't spend my life with. And it was a sign from God, and I let it go.
All right, Kayla, what was the pivotal time that made you go, I can't spend my life with this person anymore?
Okay, so flashback to November of 2023. It is almost Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
We are at an amazing place in our relationship.
Yep.
We had just had Georgia. So our youngest, our third child, she was born at the end of June, so maybe 5 months, 4.5, 5 months old. And he was power washing the house, and I truly remember that day vividly. Like, we were having such a great day. He was power washing the house because we were getting ready for like friends coming over or something. Anyways, he was going to go pick up the kids from school, and got in the truck to go, and I get a call from the truck, and he's like screaming, and I'm like, hello, and Ryan used to butt dial me, or he would like prank call me sometimes and be like, oh no, I just like jokes, and I'd be like, no, you didn't, like, you're fine, what, are you fucking with me, like
Yeah.
jokes. So he was like, like yelling. And I was like, are you fucking with me? What's going on? Why are you yelling like that? And he was like, just like screaming. And he was like, my leg, my leg. And I was like, wait, are you serious? Like, I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Um, and he was like, honey or babe, like my leg. And then I heard somebody else walk up in the call and was like, oh my God, dude, don't move. Don't move. And I was like thinking, oh my gosh. And he's like, I crashed my truck or something. So I immediately hang up on him, call 911. I said, hi, my husband's been in a car accident. Ryan's been in a car accident. If anyone's traveling on this road, please
Because
let me know if he's
everybody's
okay.
traveling on that road because they're all going to pick
Everyone's
up their
traveling on the road.
kids.
It's a very big road. And so I had my girlfriend running down the road to make sure he was alive. And I had friends sending me pictures. Like, I just had to make sure that he was okay and he was
Yeah.
alive. And
So how was this moment the moment that you realized?
let me get there.
Okay, sorry.
Hold on, sorry. This was like a pivotal thing.
Yeah,
Like, because
okay.
I'm trying to show, like, I'm also trying to explain that, like, we were in a really good time
Yeah.
in this point. And
Oh, okay.
yes, but this leads into
Yes.
the darkest time.
Yeah.
So, bad car accident, all the things. He gets transported. The operator calls me back. He's getting transported to Shands. He's had some lacerations or blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it was a terrible accident. I was making sure that my kids weren't in the car. Thank the Lord Jesus that they were not in the car. So I rushed over to the hospital. He's back in the trauma area or whatever. And the detectives, they're just doing all the things. Anyway, so that was the accident was a pivotal moment. And he comes home from the hospital, and we had already booked this Christmas cabin like 6 months prior.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, we booked the Christmas cabin with all of his family mostly. My dad was going to be the only one coming. And I said, do you still want to go? Because we can cancel.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'm either going to sit here or I'm going to sit there, but at least I'll sit there with my family. So let's go. And I was like, valid. Okay. So we drive, this was again a month later, Christmas from Thanksgiving. A month later, we drive up to North Carolina and spend the Christmas, in the cabin. And, this is a kind of conversation for another time. But as we're getting up to the cabin, I get a family call that my aunt has just committed suicide. And my uncle is in jail for what they thought. I don't want to discuss that stuff, but
he was wrongly
they thought he did it and he did not
he was
do it.
wrongly
So that was a huge traumatic
suspect
thing,
or
but
whatever.
I'm someone that, like, when shit gets hard, I'm like, all right, buckle down, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Time to fix it all. So I immediately, like, tried to get a hold of the best attorney I could in the state of California, the defense attorney, got him out of jail. Made sure my uncle's wife was alive, stable. I didn't know. I tried to find which hospital she was. So basically I was just handling all these logistics with my husband, who was just in a really bad car accident on crutches with a 5-month-old on my hip. Thinking, what the hell
horrible.
is going on?
Like, it's just one of those times of your life where you just have to like find that strength, and you just kind of go numb through it.
I was completely numb.
I can't even imagine, like, you poor thing, like, this is horrible.
And
like,
working. I was also working. I was
Yeah.
having huge deals happening at that time too.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, like, fine. I just went completely numb, buckled down, and was like, I am the backbone of my family right now. Like,
Mhm.
I have to hold it all together because this all is on my shoulders. And he was sleeping in the room, and I happened to look on his phone, and he was getting some text messages from a friend that lived in town in North Carolina. And mind you, also, I want to add a note that this was the first Christmas. I'm 34 years old. I would think I was 32 at the time, because this was, 2 years ago. This was the first Christmas I had ever spent with my dad, ever. I never spent a Christmas with my dad. So this was the first Christmas I spent with my dad.
In your whole life?
In my whole life. And also something to touch on other topics. My dad did struggle with substance abuse growing up. So like, my dad, I don't want to say he signed off his rights, but he signed a paper for my mom to be able to move to California. And we moved away because my dad knew that it would be a better life if I went with my mom.
Yeah.
So my dad stayed in Virginia and I moved to California with my mom as a single mom. And so that's kind of a little bit of a backstory is my dad did always struggle with substance abuse. And anyways, then I'm looking at his phone and I'm seeing that he's texting and I open the phone and I see that he's looking for drugs.
Your
Yeah.
dad or
No, my husband.
got it.
So, he's looking to bring cocaine to our family Christmas cabin. And I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
is this real? Like, you're really trying to. I was just like, all I'm doing is going through so much shit, and you're gonna try to bring drugs into a family Christmas beautiful cabin
With
moment
little kids
with
around.
small
Yeah.
children, multiple families of children. And he said to me, oh, it was for your dad. And that was the moment that I just thought, you have no respect for me. And you know everything that I'm going through right now. And you haven't even said, hey, are you okay? What can I do? How can I help? Is your family okay? Nothing. It was just like my problems were nothing. My problems didn't mean anything. It was like because I'm such a strong girl and I can handle so much, it was like, I don't need to check on you because you're strong. You got this. Like you've held it all together for years. And my shit, I held his shit. It was constantly like I'm like put fucking firefighter
It's
on
so
my resume
selfish.
because I have been burning out fires for 10
It's
fucking
so
years.
selfish. And it's hard because, as like addicts have a problem like admitting it to themselves, right?
Mhm.
And so obviously like, a lot of the time you know, their first the thing that they're going to go to first is that defense,
It's
like
not
it's
me.
not me.
And mind you,
That's not for me.
it doesn't matter whose it is. It matters that my own husband was in
Because
trying to get it. And
whether
it's the
yeah,
principle
it's
of
the
and the
principle.
accountability of even if it was for my dad or somebody, why would you say that to me? You know that my childhood was I
Also,
struggled
why
so
wouldn't
much.
if your dad did cut him, it should be like, hey, buddy, like now's not the time.
Right.
Like that's the healthy thing, the response to do as an adult with
Right.
children around.
Right.
And I think like having gone through what you went through, and this is your first Christmas with your dad, you're
Yeah.
like, can you just respect that? But I mean, obviously, like whether it was or wasn't, there was your ex has been open.
It doesn't matter, right? Like because the thing is that it's just he has a really hard time taking accountability and telling the truth. Just because you say something doesn't make it a fact.
Yeah.
So anyways, so that was the backstory that had happened that year.
Yeah.
Fast forward. So I don't know what had been going on before, like in the midst of all this. I was very pissed, but here I am dealing with so much. So what am I going to do? Leave my husband right now? You know what I mean? No,
Yeah.
I'm not. I have to, okay, I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to go to church, take the kids to church by myself almost every weekend, surrender this problem to God. God will show me. Like I was absolutely miserable and so alone and so just like, keep going, keep hustling, keep trying, do better, do more, all these kinds of things. And mind you, before this, the whole thing of like women and all this stuff. Yes, I saw him messaging women all the time, but I always blamed it on me not being enough, me not doing enough. Oh, he's just a nice guy or whatever. Anyways, so then fast forward a year, it's Christmas of 2024, like between Christmas and New Year's. And my uncle was going to come stay the night. And I was like, oh, you know what? He'll probably sleep in our daughter's room. Let me go clean up the room really quick, make the bed, make it look all nice. And
because your kids sleep in your room, and so
the kids will pop in our bed like at the time, or they'll lay on the floor. So they didn't mind because they would come into bed with us. So then it was Christmas of 2024 or New Year's right around that time. Um, I was cleaning up the bed and he was coming and I found mostly an empty bag of cocaine in the bed. And then 6 months
where in whose bed?
in Liv's bed, like under the blankets. And I was just like fuming, livid, pissed. Like, are
What
you
did you
kidding
do?
me? I immediately took a picture and I sent it to his dad and was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, because I had also found, I was vacuuming one day and I found an empty bag underneath our dining table. And I asked him about it. I was like, why the hell is this here? He's like, oh, I don't know. It's, it's old. I don't know. It's old, It was just like he was so good at making me feel like I
Let's
shouldn't
say
look into anything.
like people love to gaslight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's old. That's this. It's
Not
not mine.
mine.
It's theirs. It's
Yeah.
this. It's like, and I think like that's kind of like part of the 12
Just
steps
like kept
is
popping up.
like admitting it to yourself. And it's
Mhm.
like, okay, like, yeah, like I have a problem.
Right.
And I mean, there was so much of that where it's like you were gaslit for so long into believing that like this is normal behavior. And especially after somebody has like a really serious accident too. And I know that that can be a slippery slope
Mhm.
for people with substance abuse problems is
Yeah.
having an accident. And he had 4 accidents.
Yeah, there was a lot of accidents. I mean,
And so like
falling off the roof multiple times. Like it was just there was always something. There was always something. And it was like I had so much PTSD because I'm like always I was literally sometimes would just be afraid my phone would ring and something was going to happen again.
Yeah.
There's another fire I have to put out. Like, oh my God, like somebody would text me, like I would say it was a girlfriend about gossip that had to do nothing with me in my life, and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And I'd be like, what? Is everything okay?
like that's just the
I
trauma
lived on
lives in your body.
edge
Absolutely. Yeah.
for years, because I was just so afraid of like, Rio totally fucked me up. Like it really did. And
What happened in Rio?
what? Okay, that's gonna be another episode. That'll be a whole other thing. Okay, we're not talking about Rio right now because that will be a whole fucking hour. But
Well, let's tune in for the Rio episode because
yeah. Anyways, so
I know a little bit of Rio, but I think that, it's just like it breaks my heart to like think of all these things that you went through and like with these kids around
yeah.
and the way that like and so my dad was also an addict and my dad was a narcissist. So I think like a lot of the times when you're telling me stories about Ryan, like I see a lot of my childhood in the stories that you tell.
Mhm.
And it's hard because it's hard to know like what's the right thing to do. But like for me, like
There's a lot of patterns.
I gave my mom an ultimatum where I was like, it's me or him. And
Mhm.
like, because my dad wasn't just an addict and a narcissist. He was, really, really abusive. And like
Mhm.
our house was always like a broken, like very broken. Like everything was always broken in our house. And I think like it's so hard to get to the point because sometimes people be like, you should have stood by his side and
And I
done all
wanted
these
to.
things. But it's like you had to choose the children and
Yeah.
he put you at that place, like all of the things, because it wasn't just that he was cheating on you and that you're getting messages from girls and while like
Yeah.
you're pregnant.
I know.
And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that like happened. It wasn't just that. And you stayed through all of that stuff.
For sure.
But
because it's like, yeah, I thought like, okay. And some sad moments, when I would find him messaging women. And especially like I'm pregnant, where am I gonna go? Like I'm stuck here, like I'm 3,000 miles away from my family. Like you just kind of get on like, what the fuck am I gonna do? But sometimes I would be like, you know what? I wish somebody would come take him off my hands. Like it would be a nice break because I had those times in my moment where in my life, those moments in my life where I was just like, this is either going to kill me because of the exhaustion
yeah.
and my kids are going to have a terrible mother or no mother,
Mhm.
or I'm going to leave this and I am going to show them I've always been a resilient person. So I'm going to show them what true resilience and strength and determination of being like, you will respect me. And like, for my son to learn how to treat a woman and my daughters to learn how they should be treated by a man.
Absolutely.
And yes, and to know like, yes, marriage is sacred. It is a covenant that you are making. But if someone keeps breaking that covenant, you are allowed to leave.
So when was the moment for you where you like, because like obviously like there's a lot going on and there's
so
years,
I found the bag.
There's years and years of things, but there's a day where you go, I'm done. What
Okay, so
did
I found the bag of the cocaine in Liv's room. I called him out and I said, "Get the fuck out." I said, "You need to leave. You need to get out of this house. I am so mad at
good,
you.
that
I
was the
can't
right thing.
believe you're doing this to me again."
You
And he
did the right thing.
apologized and, he went and stayed at a hotel and I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this is just like, I just was in disbelief and just so angry and frustrated. And it's just like, how did I get here? Like, how did the life get here?
Yeah.
Um, like, I've just put up with so much for so many years. And it's just like, with him sleeping all the time, he was just always sleeping. And it's like, I was taking care of all the kids. I was doing just so much on my own where it was just like that thing where it's like they keep handing you more plates and you're just like
Mm.
going like this all the
Yeah.
time. And it's like, eventually they're gonna all slip and break. And, I kicked him out. He came back like a few days later crying and said, I want to do whatever for my family. I'm going to do whatever to make it work. And I'm going to change. And you guys mean the most to me and all these things. Um, and then I found him inhaling nitrous oxide in front of our daughter in the garage. And I just looked at him and I go, what a fucking loser. Like,
Yeah.
and I was so angry. I was so angry because I'm like, here you are begging in front of my dad and my uncle, crying about how important the family is to you, how much we mean to you, how you would do anything for us. And now you're doing that. And then literally within that day, it was that. And then it was also, I found another bag of cocaine,
Yeah.
mostly empty, on my son's counter in the bathroom. And I was just like,
Like,
nothing was
imagine if the
serious.
kids got into this and
I
like,
know.
cause like
I know.
fentanyl is
I
like
know.
it's in lots of drugs, I guess. I don't really know. Like, it's like a huge epidemic, and it's like, imagine like your kids touch
I wanted to call
everything.
the police and I didn't because my house was raided as a child and I'll never
Yeah.
forget that. And I did. I wanted to call the police because I was just like, no one's gonna believe me, right? Or like no one's gonna think that this is real, or I don't know, like, but I don't want to scare my kids. And it's like,
Yeah.
what's more important? It's like you just make all these decisions as a mom. It's like, or as a parent, just on like, what's the right thing? And you just don't even know. So
It's so hard.
I
There's
kicked
like
him out again.
there's no like rule book and like how to do this. I think like that's where your woman's intuition comes in. You're like, and it's hard, especially when you've been gaslit for so long into believing that this type of behavior is normal, or like, oh, it's just a little party, it's just a little
Yeah.
this. So you're like, No,
Yeah.
like,
And
no,
I'm
like,
just
this
like,
isn't the
in
life
my
that I
mind,
want for my family.
100%. Like I was like, I would never marry. Like I love my dad, but like I would never marry that. Like I would never marry. I kept would think my husband
Yeah.
doesn't do drugs.
Yeah, you didn't sign up
My
for that.
husband wakes up early and, whether it's working out or getting breakfast prepped or doing things that are like a partner
Contributing.
contributing. Like
Contributing to the family,
when I'm
leading a family.
yeah, like I just felt like this isn't I'm a married woman who feels like a single mom because I'm doing
I
so
think
much on my
so many
own.
women feel like that, and it's really sad
So it's like
because
I was like, what's gonna change?
right, and
I'm
you're
gonna
like,
get like less help, you
no,
know?
you'll literally have, like, less to do.
Right. Right. Like less not another person to take care of. So, that's when I kicked him out again after I found more.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, you don't take me seriously. Obviously, like what I say, you don't think is real. So I was like, you can get the fuck out. And I was like, I want a divorce. Like, I can't do this.
What did he say when you said that?
Um,
Like, what was his
of course he
response?
didn't want a divorce. He was just like, um,
Was he, like, crying, or was he,
he was really
like,
mad.
pleading with you? Yeah, like, what was his
He
response?
was very pissed. He went to pretend like he was gonna headbutt me, and I looked at him and I was like, "Don't you fucking touch me." Like, I am so
I'm
mad.
sorry, hold on. You haven't told me this before. He literally, like, winded up to like, pretend to
He
headbutt you?
was like
Like, and like,
you
he
know how you
didn't.
do something where you're like pretend like you're about to punch somebody? He like went to like flinch, like act like he was gonna headbutt me. And which I wanna for the record, he has never laid his hands on me. He's
Yeah,
punched
yeah.
holes in the walls and doors and headbutt the refrigerator and things like that, but never ever hit me or anything like that. So he did that and he knew that like I'm like, go fucking headbutt me. Go ahead. See how your life turns out. Like You know,
Oh my
he
God.
knows.
That's
He
so
knows that I
scary.
did every fucking thing for that man. I devoted my life to him. And also I didn't even mention the fact that I was building him a business while this whole thing was happening. I started a business for him with one of my best friends. We freaking knuckled down, created a business, created a whole swim thing, made him over 100 grand doing clinics. And it's just like, and I was doing all this shit by myself and I was asking for the bare fucking minimum. And
I'm so
and
sorry. This is like, it just like, I've heard some of this, but it just like breaks my heart hearing like all of the stuff you've had to go through and then watching like how he treats you now. Like, and I know he's listening to this episode. So please just
well,
be nicer to her.
no,
Please, like,
it's not
please
even about that.
understand,
Like, I
like,
don't need anything from him. All I need him to do is take accountability. That would be the
but
best
like,
gift.
but like, have a little bit of grace. Like, the way he treats you is so insane. And it's like, haven't you done enough? Haven't you done
Right.
enough? Like, can't you just like put away your ego at the door, like check your ego at the door and just like be competent and show up and be there for the kids and like
Mhm.
and just like let's has
And
it
that actually, now that you say that, like, that was a huge pivotal thing in my head is that I said to myself, he's not going to be the best version of himself or get clean if I stay. The only way he's going to be a better man is if I leave him. And
yeah,
that, you know what that is? That's the best thing for my kids. So I either stay in this marriage where he doesn't respect me or basically the kids or
yeah.
himself, or I leave him to force him to have to get help because he's gonna want to be in the kids' lives. He's gonna want to do all these things. So it's almost as if I'm gonna leave him because I love him so much so that he
Yeah.
helps himself because I love my kids so much that they had the father that I always wanted. It was like this puzzle in my
And
mind.
that's on being a mother.
And that's what it was. So it's like I'm willing to break my own heart to save my kids.
And that's a mother.
Yeah.
And you did that.
Yeah.
And it's hard because it's like eventually you guys I think will find a place where you get into your groove of like navigating this and like in a really hope I pray it gets to be like a really peaceful, cordial place. I think like
Yeah.
right now, um it's that little bit of a bump, rocky road while you get there.
Because right now he hates me more than he loves the kids, which is fine. I know that that can be a common thing. So he wants to do whatever he can to hurt me, and I'm totally like I'm
But
very
I
aware
will
of
say
that.
this, he does, you can tell he loves the kids.
He
Like
does. He loves his children.
he's a very fun uncle. Um
But yeah, he's a great Disney dad.
and you know what? And I think like the kids need to see that version of things and I think you do a really good job of hiding the things that are going on for the benefit of the children. And I think that again is on being a good mom. Is like there's a
Yeah,
lot that you have to hide that you can't, and the kids can say, well, this is better and dad's more fun or whatever the hell
totally.
they say, like when they're mad at you.
I'm the disciplinary parent,
And it's like,
so
and he's the fun uncle, and he's like, here's candy and sugar and
yeah,
stickers and sneakers and things.
yeah.
And you're like, cool, like you have to take a shower.
Yeah, you have to brush your teeth, you have to take a shower, you have to do your homework, you have chores, you have things, and it's like, "Yeah, mom, you're so mean, you're not fun." I'm like, "I'm not your friend."
Yeah.
You know, I grew up with teen parents, so it's like, listen, my mom's one of my best friends. I love my dad. But my parents were 18 and 20 when they had me. So it's like I had to do a lot of shit on my own. I had to grow up very fast. So it's just, yeah, I'm
It's
like,
hard, man. It's so hard. And I just my heart breaks for you guys watching it all go down. Like
yeah,
you're doing such a good job of
thank you.
navigating it because there is no like,
There is no
here's how you
robot.
handle this
Yeah.
divorce perfectly. And I think like
But that's where my
you're
faith comes in. Like my
trying
faith
your
has really
best.
helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And the community of women that I have, I always say again, God bless me with the friend lottery. Like I have amazing women in my life, amazing friends, amazing family members, who have all been there for me and kind of held me afloat.
Yeah.
Like while he kept punching me, my friends held me up. Like, no, you're gonna fight this fight. You're gonna win this fight.
Hmm.
Um, I love my brain thinks in analogies, so I speak of analogies like very often. So, but that's how I feel like they have been like that for me.
You do have an unbelievable friend group, like your friends, and just even like the way that they welcome me in. Like they are just like such an amazing, supportive group of people, like
Yeah.
such a great community to have around you. So it's like you're not really ever alone, like because you have such amazing people around you
Hmm.
who would do anything for you and for your kids. And
And they've
like,
seen me grow through everything. They saw me married. Like, I had, I keep my circle tight. And so, and when you're in my circle, I like fully let you in. Like,
yeah,
I really do. Like, and I think they've all seen the highs, the lows, the good, the bad. They know what I've been through and what I've dealt with and even continue to go through. So it's like they don't question things.
yeah. So you tell him you want a divorce. He's
Oh, yes.
really
So
upset.
then
He's really upset by everything.
furious. I book a session with our therapist, our
Hmm.
marriage and family therapist, because we had one that I was paying for. And took us to a therapist, booked a 2-hour session, and said, "Hey, I'm coming here today, and I need a third party to be the middle ground for this conversation. I am coming here today, begging my husband to go to rehab, um, for a minimum of 30 days. I want like an out of the home. I want like an inpatient rehab. I want him to fully go into there so he can do whatever he needs to do to find himself, to, get clean, to
Give him the tools he
whatever he
needs.
needs. Like
Yeah,
go get it. Like get away from us. Like get if it's the family, if it's this that's bringing you down, I don't know, but like go take your time.
yeah.
I will handle everything. Go, do your thing. And then when you come back, I want us to go to an all-intensive marriage boot camp in Georgia because this is
Mhm.
what our therapist was recommending for us anyways. But I was like, I can't go to this therapy, this intensive boot camp with you not sober. You
Right,
have to go sober
right.
because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time and a waste of money. So he refused. That was when he was like, I'm not fucking going to rehab. I don't have a problem. Our therapist was like, Ryan, stop raising your voice. We are in a family building. You know, like, he was trying to
And I
kind
think
of
that
help.
that's kind of like the response of a lot of addicts is like they get really upset and like
Yeah.
you think like of any intervention it's like that's how a lot of them react
Yeah. He was
and
just like,
because
I
he's
don't have
just
a
not
problem.
ready to admit it to himself yet that he did have a problem.
Yeah. Yes. When you're doing, I guess, like a ton. And again, I don't know how much is a lot and all this stuff, but
I
I
think
know it's
where
a lot of money and it's a lot of,
do you have any idea how much money was spent on it?
no, no.
Yeah,
But I didn't have access to our like, I never saw, like, I didn't have access to accounts or anything like that.
yeah,
Um,
and because that's the most terrifying thing because you're like where did it all go?
but bills weren't being paid and, it was just like, oh, I don't have enough money for the mortgage, so I'd pay the mortgage. And, um, also another side note, when he crashed the car, the truck, the last truck, when he totaled that one, um, he didn't pay the car insurance bill, so we weren't insured. And I didn't know this until months down the road when it was just like, "Oh, you weren't insured." And I'm like, "Wait, you didn't pay the bill? Like, why didn't you tell me?" Like, I could have helped pay the bill,
Right.
like,
Like, my dad was a lot like that, like, he just, like, didn't open mail, didn't pay bills, and it was like
yeah.
I think it had, like, a narcissistic, like, trait that my dad, like, has, that's, like, I think there's a lot of, like,
He just really struggles with
similarities in
responsibility.
with the lack of responsibilities,
Yeah.
it's, like, really hard for them,
And it's like when everyone else has done everything for you for for your whole life, it's like, everyone's catered to everything about you.
well, and it's really hard when you, like, have a big paycheck come in from doing, like, a clinic, and then you're like, "Oh, look at all this money I have,"
Yeah,
and then
and
you
he's a
go do
very
something.
generous man. Like, if I could say something positive,
No, and I
he
love
was
that you
always
do.
very generous. But even to his own detriment. When it's
Right.
like we didn't have money to spend, you
It's
were
like
spending,
all the bills have to come first, like
yeah,
health insurance, car insurance,
taxes, all these
mortgage,
things.
taxes, like those things are like they come first.
Yeah, and so here I am too. When I thought of like getting my real estate license, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna help bring in an income, and I'm gonna help pay off debt. I'm going to help organize the finances. Like that was
Yeah.
my goal. And it takes years to build. As you know, in real estate, it takes about 4 years to really get your business off the ground.
Mhm.
Um but that was my goal. Like I was saving money for us to be able to pay things off and get ahead of the taxes and all this stuff that I just felt like was just again another plate just added, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to fix it. Like Kayla's
Mhm.
here. Kayla's a fixer. I'm an executor. I'm going to figure it out. So I was doing all these things to figure it out, and it was almost like, I would get us 5 steps forward, and then all of a sudden he would pull us back, and I'd be like, okay, regroup, let's do it again, and it's like
Mhm.
it was just this constant dance of like, okay, and then it was the drugs, and then it was the women, and it was just like, okay, never mind. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go heal myself. I need to be there for my kids. They need me the most. So after that meeting, that was in January or February, um,
Of
that
20 of this year, 2025.
of 2025, yeah.
Mhm.
Because it was all Christmas, New Year's of 2024. So it was right around that time when we met the therapist, and then I went and met my attorney, and he was like, "If you don't get out, you're gonna spiral with him." And my attorney knew all the like the nitty-gritty details too. Um, and so I'm like, "Okay, well, like this is gonna be the hardest decision, I've ever made." But I feel like I looked at those signs, like these are all signs telling me that like this man doesn't respect you, appreciate you, like all the things.
And I think it's also kind of goes back to like, when you're like disciplining kids. It's like if there's no consequence for your action, there's no change in behavior.
100%.
And I think because it's similar things happen with my dad, and it was like, oh, my mom would forgive him and he would come back, and then like it was only a matter of time before he did the same thing again. And it's like, hey, like, no,
They don't
it doesn't
change.
work like this. The
Yeah.
change doesn't happen. And so
Mhm.
and for your kid's sake, I hope he does
Oh,
change.
I hope
I
so.
hope he stays sober, and I
so.
hope he just
Not just for a performance. I hope he
yeah.
actually genuinely changes.
Yeah, like, cause like, that's at the end of the day, like, we all want what's right for the kids. And,
1000%.
uh, sober, problem-free
Present. Yeah.
dad
Responsible,
is all that,
safe.
everybody wants. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what everyone wants. Nobody wants his downfall. Nobody wants that.
100%. 100%.
Um, it's just really unfortunate the way that, they lash out on the climb back up.
Mhm.
And I just hope he keeps climbing and he can keep fixing himself because, those kids deserve it.
Yeah. And
And
again, the best all like I said, like I don't need anything from him. Actually I would love his help with the kids for sure. Now he's been more helpful physically, but the greatest gift is his accountability, which I know that he struggled with that for a very long time, but like just be honest, be
yeah.
accountable. Like you were a terrible husband. You weren't a present dad all the time. You made me do everything.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you paid a lot of the bills, big chunk bills, mortgage. Um, but don't discredit everything that I've done and
Yeah.
did and act like I was just some freeloader, you know?
I know the likelihood of this happening is really slim, but Ryan, if you're listening, I hope there's a day where he apologizes to you and like he can say like see like all the things that he's done and
Mhm.
be like, "Hey, like I know we didn't work out, but I'm really sorry.
Mhm.
I'm sorry for everything I put you through. I'm sorry for every girl, every way I betrayed you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the drugs. I'm sorry for the lack of respect. I'm sorry for the lack of help.
Mhm.
Like, I don't like as your friend, like, and I'm not just saying this because I'm your friend, but like as your friend, like I've seen like all the things you've done, and it's not fair. And it's just like you don't deserve anything that you've gone through. And I hope that there's just a day where he wakes up and goes, Kayla, I'm really sorry. Like,
Mhm.
I'm really, really sorry because you deserve that. And
I just don't know if it's ever gonna happen, and I
I
don't
hope
have
it
it. I
does.
don't have expectations for it, just
Well,
because he doesn't. Again, he really
just know that
struggles with
I'm sorry.
apology and accountability. Yeah, I just want honesty from him, and like the women that have come forward after filing, it's just to paint this picture that, he did nothing wrong or it was just, oh, we just after we had a baby, life just got hard. Like, no, that was not it at all,
Yeah.
actually. Um, but I'm so happy with this decision that I made. Like,
Yeah.
I can't express my gratitude and happiness enough. Like, I'm so fucking happy that I did this. And it's a hard decision. It was a hard decision, but um I just feel like I'm aligned. I'm aligning myself again, and it's like I get to be the best mom and person for my kids.
Well, I just want to say congratulations because I don't think people congratulate people enough on breakups and divorces because I think if you've gone through a really shitty breakup, I think you deserve sometimes to like hear congratulations
Thanks.
because it's not an easy thing to like, obviously like that was a lot to take in like and
That's only like the last 2 years.
that's just like that's literally not even the tip of the
No.
iceberg. Like
Yeah.
I know because I know there's so much more to it. Um but it's just such a cool thing to say, you know what? I don't I tried and I no longer can accept this life.
Totally.
And I think a lot of people get so stuck in a marriage, and whether it's family obligation or religious reasons, and they just feel like they like have to really like trek on through.
Because I don't want people to give up. I do believe
Yeah,
in
no,
marriage, and I
but you
want people
tried.
to I
You
tried.
tried.
I tried, but I don't want people to throw in the towel so easily, and I really want people to be devoted to one another.
Absolutely.
And give it everything, you know?
But sometimes like
I had to leave,
it's
yes.
not the right thing, and what a beautiful thing it is to be able to like say no, like I deserve more, because
Mhm.
you're teaching your girls this lesson of like, this isn't what this is supposed to look like.
Mhm.
Because
I
had
want to
this
show them a happy relationship.
I had this moment with, because like Ryan is a lot like my dad,
Mhm.
and I always resented my mom for not leaving,
Mhm.
and she should have left sooner. I made her leave when I was 18.
Mhm.
And then there was a moment where I was in my abusive relationship, and I had this like zoom out on life moment, and I go, oh my God, like this is my dad.
Yeah,
Like
it's
this
not
is the
always
same
easy.
thing. And I had to go, okay, I have to get out of this now,
Right.
or history repeats itself and my daughter will be me.
And you respected your mom probably so much more in that time.
I had so much empathy for my
Mhm.
mom. It wasn't even respect. It was just empathy of being like, it's so hard to see that you're in this
Mhm.
really, really bad place until you're in it. And
Mhm.
I was like, oh my God, it's so much harder than because like when I was young, I was strong because I could stand up to my dad and I could get in
Mhm.
his face and be like my mom was like cowering in the corner, and like I
Mhm.
would get in his face and be like, you don't talk to us, you don't do this, just get out, like leave, da da da. But I think like for your situation, like Georgia's luckily young enough where she didn't really get exposed to a lot of the things that happened with you and Ryan. But I think like Liv will be able to rewrite the way that being loved looks like.
Mhm.
And so it doesn't look like,
I'm totally hopeful.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 1,000% think that's a thing that you guys can rewrite. And I think like, I love that for Liv, where it's not like, hey, this isn't what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
This isn't what love looks
Mhm.
like, and I'm just excited for you guys for a fresh start. And I know it's bumpy right now, but
Yeah.
like,
We'll get there.
we'll get there.
Let's go!